Talk to your doctor about building new bone with
This is the Bison Football Show with Coach Matt Entz, brought to you by Gate City Bank and Pepsi.
Welcome into the Bison Football Show with Coach Matt Entz. As always, I'm Rob Hipp here in the quarterfinal round, a 27-9 victory over the Samford Bulldogs. Coach, as always, good to see you. Harvest helmets were on full display. Good game here today, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Our kids played really hard. That was a good football team. Very explosive offensively, did a nice job defensively. And so to come out of it with a big win and moving on to the semifinals is exciting.
What kind of stood out with this Samford team to you in this ball game? They came out early. It was 0-0 to start that first quarter.
Well, they played really well defensively. They did some different things. Almost kind of went away from what they had shown the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think they figured they needed to change something. They had given up a lot of rushing yardage leading up to this game and did a really good job up front. We couldn't get going with some of the pin and pull stuff that we had thought or had seen in earlier games that they'd kind of struggled with. And so they did a really good job as a staff of correcting some things this week and showing us some new things that it took a little time for us to adjust to.
Such a fast tempo offense. We talked a lot about that, but the adjustments were there, the communication was there, a lot of substitutions. And then I think one thing that really stands out, almost 40 minutes time of possession. Sure. Really good job there on that, Coach. And that was kind of the game plan going in.
We talked about it all week, complementary football. We needed to play really well on third down. We needed to stay on the field offensively, limit their number of snaps that they had. They had, up until this game, probably averaging easily mid-80s to upper 80s, 40 points a game. And so holding them under their yearly average was big time for us, and that we thought that was a good recipe to win.
Special teams, too, having a great day today. I believe it was Spencer Wagey who finally got credited with that blocked field goal. And then how about Griffin Cross, a 44-yard field goal as time was expiring there, and that kind of set things up for the second half. Just talk a little bit about your special teams today.
Well, they continue to do a really good job. Will, Griff, Kaedin had a big punt that was down at the 2 late in the game. Those guys really take a lot of pride in their work that they do. It's a unique skill that all of them have, and they do a great job. And it's part of the game that we want to win every week. We know it gives us an advantage, and we want to take advantage of it.
Let's take a look at first half highlights presented by Gate City Bank.
Third and short on the way for Samford. Moving the football. Crittenden goes back to throw it, and he's sacked, brought down by Zach Williams coming on to attempt the 34-yard field goal to try to give the Bulldogs their first points of the ball game, and it's blocked. The Bison block, pick it up. I think that was Spencer Wagey. That was quick. I didn't even have a chance to ask. You were just like, boom.
I think it was.
I'm gonna drop that.
And I got to ride with it because I said it early in the year. He was a dark horse guy to watch out for. I think he did enough.
Cam Miller getting it away. What an outstanding grab. One-handed catch made by Hunter Brozio. Extend the drive here. A little trickeration and reverse back the other way, and that's Kendall Watson who's held up short. So big stands on defense on both sides, and this time the Bison. TK Marshall to the left of Cam Miller in the backfield. The jet sweep over to Braylon Henderson, and Henderson with some running room, and Henderson picks up 13 on the carry. First down. Miller surveying, throws it across his body. What a great catch made by Zach Mathis. Mathis inside the 5.
When you got a receiver that's 6'6", don't throw the ball low. Throw high. As he starts to escape, nowhere to go with this football, hangs it up high, and the defensive back tried to undercut it. That's Akeem Johnson, who's 6'3" himself. But wow, that close, and a big pickup for North Dakota State. Go behind Cody Mott. That's your All-American lineman. Run it left.
Instead, play action into the end zone and touchdown. Joe Stuffle hauls it in. Longest of the season 39. This one up and through the uprights. So the costly penalty at the end for the Samford defense gives 3 points to the Bison, a 10-0 ball.
Let's take a look at first half stats presented by Nodak Insurance. The Bison leading 10-0. Just in that previous segment, we did talk about Griffin Crosa there with the 44-yard field goal. He continues to remain true. So good as a kicker, point afters. I think you go back to 2019 was the last time he missed on point after kicks.
I don't want to really talk about that because you don't want to give him the announcer hex here, but he's done a great job. He comes ready to work every day, and that was a huge kick. I mean, 2 seconds or so left in the first half. We knew we were going to get the ball right off the start of the second half, and really, having that drive right at the halftime, scoring, coming out, getting a touchdown on the first drive, 2 big critical moments of the game. 61
yards on the ground for the Bison. You end up holding Samford to only 33 yards in that first half. The defense really stepping up. As always, Code Green doing a great job in this ball.
We did. We were able to get some negative plays going, got them behind the chains. I thought our guys up front did a really good job of applying pressure to the quarterback, forcing the ball to get out early. The rhythm just wasn't there offensively for them because they're a good group, and you kind of held your breath every time we got those 3 and outs or got them off the field. It was just one step closer to winning.
Just seeing that first half and the tempo, was that something that you expected because you knew that this team ran really fast?
Oh, yeah. We practiced and prepared for it all week long. Like I said before, upper 80s, mid 80s number of snaps they'd had, on average, probably the last 4 or 5 games. We were fully prepared for them to go fast.
We'll have the second half highlights presented by Gate City Bank right after this.
Teamwork, talent, dedication, leadership. These values that win championships on the field also build community, improve lives, and make a difference every single day. For you, for our neighbors, for our community, for a better way of life. Gate City Bank.
The hunt is on, and it's about to get loud.
Powerful and playful. Delicate and precise. Bold and carefree. It's the way you move, and it moves us. To deliver care for your whole family. To provide options beyond the expected. To help you leave pain in the past and find your way forward. Orthopedics and sports medicine at Samford Health.
Bison Nation, this is head football coach Matt Entz. With all that goes into leading the Bison to victory, the last thing I want to worry about is the clothing I need to look and feel my best. I shop at Halberstadt's West Acres because I trust that they provide me with everything I need for meetings at the office, press conferences, and casual Bison attire. With plenty of options for sport coats, shirts, denim, suits, shoes, and accessories, I'm confident that when I need anything and everything menswear, Halberstadt's West Acres has me covered.
Welcome back to the Bison Football Show with Coach Matt Entz. I'm Rob Hipp. Bison victorious in this quarterfinal round, 27-9 over the Samford Bulldogs. As we kind of talk about this game overall, Coach, 39 minutes of possession. I know we led in with that. That was the game plan going in, and a lot of that really happening in that second half. Saw a lot of drives that were over 7 minutes, especially that starting drive to get things going in the third quarter.
Well, I mean, first half, I think we had it close to 20 minutes and really pretty balanced throughout the game. And we just talked about, when you're playing a team that wants to go as fast as possible, well, if they're not on the field, it's hard to go fast, and we can slow the game down. And then defensively creating a couple of stops, they had to slow down, because all of a sudden they weren't going to be out there, and we were going to, run the clock off.
I know in that first half, it took a little while to get in rhythm. We talked about that earlier, but then overall, I believe close to 65% on third downs, talking about moving the chains. Just how important does that continue as we go on?
Well, you want to stay on the field. The best way to allow yourself an opportunity to score is to extend drives and make big plays. Keep it to third and short. We had a couple third downs early in the game where I think we had one that was it was 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. We false start, 3rd and 7. I think we minimal penalties tonight, but that was a frustrating one because it's a critical down for us.
There was a play there too where Cam Miller, we've seen him run in so many times, but then you see a pass play go over there for the Bison, and it was going into the hands of Stuffle, who got into the action. Talk a little bit about that play.
Well,
Coach.
it was wide delay. First time we'd ran it all year. We'd practiced it probably hundreds of times. First time we'd ran it in a game, and very efficient at it, and to score a touchdown right like that was big for us.
Let's take a look at second half highlights presented by Gate City Bank.
Cam Miller looking to pass on second down, wide open, and a soft spot is Joe Stuffle. Stuffle, who already had his first career touchdown, going for a second, brought down inside the 10.
And prior to the alignment, there was some confusion in the secondary, and they just didn't line up right the proper way. And they allow Stuffle to go untouched down the field, nobody covering.
And right now in the danger zone, if you're the Bulldog defense, after that 47-yard catch and run to Joe Stuffle, 1st and goal from the Samford 7. TK Marshall taking his time, going out wide to the left side and in for the score. The 7-yard scamper for the junior out of Minneapolis to get to the 40 of the Bison on 3rd down, and right into the hands of the defender, Dawson Weber, first team all-conference safety. The interception and the play made. Lead FCS in points per game at 52, and that one is lunged forward. No call still on the field, but it looked like Cam Miller got in for a touchdown. We will await the signal.
Yeah, why aren't they signaling that? I thought the lunge got him there, but they are marking him short.
Run the field. It's a touchdown.
Oh, okay.
Well, the late signal nonetheless, and Cam Miller is in for another rushing touchdown this season.
Yeah, good job. Gets almost halfway in there. And
they've eclipsed that 72 yards plus that gain there from Kobe Johnson. And here, just a little pass out to the flat, and Braylon Henderson into Bulldog territory.
This is just schematically okay.
Let's take a look at final stats presented by Nodak Insurance. As this game went on in second half, Bison finishing up 166 yards on the ground. Saw a lot more of that running action in the second half. Kobe Johnson remains that force for the team. TK Marshall also getting in some minutes here, valuable as well for him.
Yeah, Kobe continues to be, kind of the workhorse of that running back room. TK, great young talent, does a nice job, and we'll continue to run the football. I'm sure there's some things we can learn from this one today, but when we needed to run the football, we were able to, and running it for over 100 yards in the second half, and then being able to use some of our, moving pocket, nakeds, and hots and things to continue to we're effective against this group.
194 yards through the air, too, for Cam Miller. And this was one of those games to where, you always talk about that rushing game, but the passing game, when you need it, it's there. And a quiet day for Cam Miller, but he came up huge when this team needed it as well, Coach.
Right. Well, there was the big play was, again, like you talked to the other play to Joe Stoffel, I think, where they had a bust in communication defensively, and Joe got it down there right inside the 5-yard line. But that was a big gain for us, and Cam did a great job of finding the open receiver.
Let's go now to Logan Campbell with our Nodak Insurance Player of the Game, Courtney Eubanks.
Courtney, a quarterfinal win in the books. You led the defense with 10 tackles today. What was your mentality entering this game?
I mean, I told the guys I'm going to go out there and play. You know, it may be the last game for the seniors at home, so I just had to play my butt off. So, I went out and did that.
Like you just said, this could possibly be your last game in the Dome this season. Has that hit you yet, that could be a reality?
I mean, no, because we still got a goal. I'll be back next year for another season, but we still got a goal to win the championship this year.
Courtney, what was said to you guys at halftime? Because it was like a flip switched for you guys.
At halftime, I mean, for the defense, basically, we go out there, keep on executing, don't get complacent with anything. And for the offense, they had to step it up a little, and that's what they came out and did.
Courtney, semifinals next week. What will be the mentality heading into this week of practice?
The same one as we do all week. It's the same thing. We preach the same thing. We just go out and execute.
All right, Courtney, congratulations. Courtney Eubanks, our Nodak Insurance Player of the Game. Rob, back to you.
Thank you, Logan. Again, Courtney Eubanks, always good to hear from him. 10 total tackles for the junior cornerback in this game, 6 solo tackles. What did you like about his play today, Coach?
He was aggressive, and Courtney continues to gain confidence. The more he plays, he's playing on, I think, at a more physical level than probably early in the year or even last year. So really excited about him. And, young man from Florida, from St. Pete area, and doing a great job being a Bison, and has been very durable for us this year. Plays a lot of special teams, too.
That secondary group, as you just mentioned, the confidence being built by Courtney. Just how does that group kind of come together? Talk a little bit about the brotherhood that they have with each other.
Well, they've played a lot of football together. You look over the course of really the last 3 seasons, spring of 21, fall of 21, fall of 22. You see a lot of familiar names and faces out there, and anytime you can create that camaraderie and that continuity, it's pretty valuable.
We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll learn about the punter, Kaedin Steindorf.
This one's for every sports fan who just spent the entire game explaining to someone the entire game. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Better starts with convenience. Better starts with trust. You can trust that your pre-approval is guaranteed on closing day, which is one less thing to worry about. Better starts with saving you money. No ATM fees and no minimum balances mean how you spend your money is up to you. Because at Gate City Bank, better starts with you. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life.
I live for adventure. Whether it's playing professional football or the solitude of being in the great outdoors. Through all my adventures, one thing I do know, life is unpredictable and full of change. Thankfully, some things remain the same. Important things like service, quality, expertise, and trust. From my childhood to today, Shields has my trust because it has been right there with me for all my adventures. Shields, right there with you.
Another rock and roll weekend.
Burgers, better with Pepsi.
Welcome back to the Bison Football Show with Coach Matt Entz. I'm Rob Hipp. And this week's Olaf Anderson feature, WDAY's Dom Izzo visits with Bison punter Kaedin Steindorf.
Sometimes you have games where you're really busy and sometimes you don't. How do you adjust for that mentally, knowing you still, if you only have 2, you want it to be as good as you can?
Definitely. I know some games are even like Valpo, or like some this year I had 1 punt, and then some games like last year against Albany I had 6. It's just games you just look forward to as well, because I know if I have 6 punts, then I might not have as many holding, or if I have no punts, I'm holding, and that's my job, just to get ready for that, because that's what I got to look forward to.
Describe how this season has gone. How do you feel, you personally, how you feel you've kicked so far this year?
Definitely it's been hit or miss at the very beginning, or I'd say entirely the whole regular season. I'd hit one good ball, then come back, hit 1 or 2 not so good, and then hit a few good, and then go on a cold streak. And it's definitely just trying to get confident again, because I don't know, punting, and I'd say a lot of other sports that are single positions like I am, it's very confidence-based, and it's very hard to lose it.
And then get it back, I'm assuming.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So then when you don't punt a lot, how tough is it to get it back when you're not out there?
Definitely, and then let's say you're not having the best game reps, or you're not having a lot of reps, it's definitely just focusing on practice. I know that the last couple weeks I've been having a lot better practices, and just a lot more like concentration and focusing that I got to perfect my craft.
They're going to bring the fake out with Steindorf in the regular season finale for the second year in a row. He did it last year against South Dakota, and he does it this year and picks up a first down.
Getting on the field, is this on the timeline you even accelerated, you thought, or is this right about when you thought that knowing when Garrett was going to move on, it's my time to take over?
No, definitely when, especially when Nick, Coach Gazer, reached out to me. He said that I'd be a walk-on and a backup, and then once the next season started, so 2021, that it was my spot to lose, and that's just the mentality I had to come in with. And I definitely have enjoyed the last 2 seasons of playing, and this is definitely I'd assume the timeline that I'd come in at.
Coach, again, always good to highlight special teams, and a young man like Kaedin Steindorf, 3rd season now with the program. Just what has really impressed you about his play?
Well, it continues to improve and really detail his work. One of the things with Kaedin has a huge leg, probably doesn't get a chance to show it off very often because we don't kick in a backed up situation. So we ask him more than anything to down it inside the 10, inside the 20, and he does a really good job with that. Today had a huge kick late in the game that I think the ball rolled dead at the 2, and he just continues to get better and better. He's kind of the leader of that group, and so I try to lean on him a little bit for that leadership.
When you look at a punter, you always think about kicking the ball. He did have a fake punt earlier in the season that resulted in a first down. What else besides kicking do these guys have to work on?
Well, he's our holder, too, for us on PAT and field goals, and so that's something, again, that he's got to work with our long snapper, Hunter Brosio, Caleb Bowers, our backup, but also the timing with Griff. And so, today on the 44-yarder, that was critical, the snap, the hold. The process has to be all matched up and ready to go.
Finally, when you look at a kicker or a punter, what are you looking for when you're recruiting those guys?
Well, you're looking for leg strength, hang time. Depends on what specialty you're looking at. If it's a kicker, you want to see how quickly does he get the ball up. Is he driving it or is he lifting it? There's a number of things that we try to look at.
This week's Great Clip, Great Question of the Game, brought to you by Great Clips, is from Matt in Valley City. Coach, he wants to know, how do you prepare for teams you've never played before?
Dive into the film, and the film doesn't lie. That's what it is. That's the best evaluation you have. Try to maybe access or utilize any resources you might have, common opponents, people that you know at other institutions that may have defended or played against that team in recent years.
Appreciate that question. We'll take a break. There's more to come on the Bison Football Show. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is Jack. Jack loves sports, and since he banks at Gate City Bank, he can show his spirit right on his debit card. Even better, Gate City Bank will donate $10 to his favorite local school. And when Jack's friends cheer on their favorite teams, those schools receive $10 too. Plus, Jack and his friends score every day with free ATMs worldwide. Now that's always a win. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life.
For decades, Nodak Insurance Company has been serving our state's residents in good times and challenging times. We come together for the greater good, from simple acts of kindness to company-wide efforts that make a difference in our community. It's who we are, rooted in North Dakota and ready to serve when it matters most. Nodak Insurance Company, agents with answers.
Welcome back to the Bison Football Show with Coach Matt Entz. I'm Rob Hipp as we wrap it up here. Coach, another playoff game coming up. Live to see the semifinals. Always a great time of the year. Anytime you can keep playing, that's always a good time. Just how do you prepare for the next opponent?
Well, we're going to find out when we play. If it's a Friday game, it creates not issues, but changes the logistics of practice. And if it's Saturday, it also can change kind of what our practice format looks like. We got finals this week. We have graduation this week. A lot of other things going on. And then hopefully, if we're fortunate enough to get a play at home again, that's exciting as well. When you're dealing with young guys and these guys are so focused on that next game, just how do you keep them focused not only on academics, on football? It's a lot to take on. Well, you just give them the facts. Don't beat around the bush. Be transparent about the information that you have. Get it to them in a timely manner, I think, is always critical. And so we'll make sure that we get them the information. Hopefully later tonight, potentially, we'll know something. If not, as soon as we get that. Well, Coach, as always, appreciate your time. Congratulations on the win today. Looking forward to the next one. You bet. Me too. You can find out all the latest ticket information and more at GoBison.com. And until next time, as always, horns up and go Bison.
Today's Bison Football Show with Coach Matt Entz has been presented by Gate City Bank and Pepsi.
This has been an exclusive presentation from Learfield.